Hey there, welcome to Beyond Sober. My name is Kohdi Rayne. I'm your favorite ex-alcoholic and liver failure survivor. I'm so stoked to be here on YouTube, man. If you don't recognize my face, I've released over 5,000 videos. That's 5,000 edits, just talking about sobriety, recovery, mental health, physical health, spiritual health, how to get strong, how to be strong, how to feel strong. More importantly, I have spent countless hours working with thousands of people through my programs, Beyond Sober, Unlabeled Recovery. I speak with people who have been in and out of rehabs, out of detox. Hospitals is a major part of their life. More importantly, I've had one-on-one conversations, 30 minutes, an hour, 2 hours, hundreds and hundreds of times. Not only that, I've got the podcast, hundreds of hours of me talking about sobriety. And more importantly, my favorite thing, recovery. So if you're still here, I want to say thank you for your support. Thank you for being here. Thank you for taking care of yourself. Thank you for finding interest in not just what I talk about, but who I am as a person. With that said, I appreciate you and welcome to Beyond Sober. Today, we're going to be talking about what sobriety actually is, how to reach it. How long does it take? How long do you think it takes to get sober? How long do you think it takes to be sober? Is sober and recovered the same thing? What are the differences? There's so many questions that I get asked, and I have answered them literally countless times, more times than I could possibly fathom, to the point where I go like, how many other ways can I answer the same question? How can I keep it unique? What is it that people really truly want to hear? What is it that people really truly don't understand? Now, I drank alcohol for 24 years. I started drinking when I was 8 years old, dude, okay? I'm a millennial, I'm 39, okay? This means there was no parents around. I'm a latchkey kid, so just don't hurt yourself, don't hurt other people, be home before, the street lights come on. Fend for yourself, drink water from the hose, and there's no locks on the tequila. So, my introduction was actually my father, as far as I can remember. You gotta keep in mind, I've got ADHD, a whole lot of it, and a majority of my childhood is one big blur. And this is because the amount of trauma, the amount of abuse, the amount of psychological manipulation that I experienced, a lot of things that people haven't even really considered as they've gotten older, what they did to me, more importantly, what they didn't do for me when I needed it. You gotta remember, trauma is trauma. All of our traumas are equal. Your trauma isn't more expansive than my trauma. If it hurts, it hurts. If it's pain, it's pain. If you're happy, it's happy. We may experience it in a different way, but it does directly affect who we think we are, who we believe we are, more importantly, how we're acting in accordance to what we believe to be true, especially what we've been telling ourselves, and more importantly, what other people have been saying to us. So with that said, being handed a beer at 8 years old isn't necessarily the best way to introduce anybody to alcohol in general. One of the things that we're never taught, never told, and people would make a lot less money if this information was, first off, readily available 40 years ago, that was more common knowledge, and there was more experience, because alcohol is a drug. It's a neurotoxin. It is a carcinogen. It kills over 3.5 million people every single year. You're not built different. I'm not built different. I'm equally human, okay? You're human, I'm human. We have the same capacity, but we're also equally as fragile. So going back to drinking alcohol at 8 years old, that became just something that you do out of curiosity. Well, this beer tastes funny. What about this cocktail? Maybe I'll have a drink of that 40. Maybe I'll start sipping on that Pabst Blue Ribbon. That Corona's not sounding too bad. I just want to sip. We do it to be cool. We do it to experiment. We do it to have fun. And I grew up in a very, very, very small town, man. I'm talking about 1,500 people. You knew everybody. And more importantly, every single person knew you. You knew their business. They knew your business. It was very, very secluded. It was about an hour away from the nearest freeway. So experimentation, such as sneaking into your parents' liquor cabinet, or even going into other people's homes and stealing their alcohol just for the fun of it, that was pretty common, right? And so I went into my teens doing that. I was left by myself for years, fending for myself, That's a whole long story. I'll talk about that later. But I ended up getting into pills, right? Getting into prescription drugs, getting into smoking, cigarettes, weed, you name it, dude. Like, what else am I gonna possibly do? More importantly, what else is there to do? And I'm in a lot of pain. I don't have anyone to talk to. I have undiagnosed ADHD. I don't like who I am. I don't like what I'm doing. I don't like the trauma. I don't like being beat up. I don't like being left for dead. I don't like that people don't want to talk to me. I don't like that I'm the weird kid, all these things. So alcohol became the thing at 13 years old that I started to think about at 4 or 5 a.m. in the morning. When I'm having sleepless nights, when I didn't eat very well, when there's something exciting going on at school, or I'm living in a high state of anxiety because of the bullies that I'm obviously gonna run into, alcohol became the thought that started cycling at 3, 4 in the morning when I couldn't sleep. There's beer upstairs. I'll just have a beer, right? 13 years old, 14 years old, thinking about the escape, thinking about the anxiety, thinking about what might happen. Once again, undiagnosed ADHD. I thought that this is how everybody felt at 3, 4 in the morning. So I started drinking a beer, having a couple sips just so I could go back to sleep. How do you think that translated when I became an adult? How do you think practicing that behavior when I was so young, like introduced itself when I was stressed out, when I had a job I was interviewing for, when I was going on a date, when I was trying something new, when I was getting involved in hobbies, when I was getting myself out there, when I was on the phone for a sale? How do you think my body responded as an adult? It triggered the same exact autonomic and physiological responses that I'm well aware of from 15 years prior to that. So remember, what we practice when we're kids translates into what we do and what we believe, and more importantly, how we operate as an adult, okay? So through the years, I just drank more alcohol, drank more often. I didn't necessarily drink to get drunk for the most part, but I was really good at getting faded and, more importantly, getting up the next day. One of the things we don't learn until we get older, alcohol affects older people differently. The alcohol literally stays in the system longer. The human that's consuming it produces less enzymes to break down alcohol. And more importantly, the enzymes that they do produce are like half as strong. So that one glass of wine when you're 40 could wreck you, where one glass of wine when you're 15, 16, all the way to 21, 30 even, it's like nothing. It's like nothing happens, right? This is why having a high tolerance is actually your body's inability to process alcohol efficiently. Just because you could take 15 shots and not black out doesn't mean you're better at drinking alcohol. It means you've been causing an equal amount of damage with no buzz. That's a little ridiculous, right? So just growing into these behaviors became just a natural progression. So you drink about it. You don't necessarily think about it. You have a discrepancy, you have an ailment, there's something that is perturbing, there is something that is uncomfortable. That's nothing one more drink won't fix. And you gotta think about this. If you're resonating with this is because we're all taught to think like this. We're taught to feel in this way. More importantly, we're taught that one drink can literally solve the emotional turmoil that we're creating for ourselves without even knowing that alcohol is actually making that emotional state worse while numbing our awareness to it. Here's your nugget. Your life doesn't suck and you drink. Your life sucks because you drink. You don't have anxiety, so you drink. You have anxiety because you drink. You don't drink because you're depressed, man. You're depressed because you drink. This is how the poison, the toxin, the neuro agent actually works, all while it's shrinking our brain, by the way. And I say this to go, I don't care if you drink, dude. Like, you're gonna do what you're gonna do. Like, I have no emotional entanglement on whether or not anybody drinks alcohol. I just want you to be very, very aware that the same poison that's helping you ignore the pain that would normally help you get stronger is making the circumstances worse and giving you another reason to have a drink by numbing the awareness to the situation that actually needs your attention. You can't heal what you can't feel. I've worked with so many people that are just so afraid to feel their feelings. And like, the reality is, dude, if you just felt the feeling, it would be over. Easier said than done, especially if you've been practicing escaping for X amount of time. If that's what you're really good at, then those are the type of results that you're gonna get. And that's the type of results you're gonna expect as well. So subconsciously, you're probably gonna continue creating circumstances that you need to drink through, right? It's complicated, but it's actually extremely simple. So if you're watching me, I know you're very well probably rehearsed in this space. You know it's not solving anything. You know it can't fix anything. You know that if it could fix anything, you wouldn't feel broken. You know that if talking to you like that was gonna work, it would have worked already. You know you can't solve the problem with the problem. These are all things that we don't necessarily think about, but that's why I continue to show up. I like being your reminder of going, hey, you're allowed to make different decisions. You don't have to earn it. You don't have to work for it. You don't have to struggle through it. But there is a level of difficulty reaching that state of being that you prefer. We look at this and go, happy, healthy people do happy, healthy things. Therefore, they get happy, healthy results. If happy people do happy things and they would never jeopardize or sacrifice their health and happiness for literal gasoline, ethanol that's in alcohol, then doesn't it make sense that happiness and health is probably the cure to all alcoholic behavior, substance abuse in general? This is a massive topic because we've been taught to think that alcoholism is a disease. Is it? Is it a disease? Is it the same disease that we cure every single day? You mean we could cure all these other diseases, but not alcoholic behavior? No, I'm not giving people permission to see whether or not they have a problem with alcohol. Everybody has a problem with alcohol. It's a poison, it's a toxin, it's a carcinogen. We're supposed to have a problem. It has a problem with us. But that doesn't mean that the problems that it's causing is greater for most people than the numbingness of the pains that we believe are naturally occurring in our own life, right? The anxieties, the breakups, the society, government, our body, our environment, all these things, our finances, that's nothing one more drink can't solve. The unfortunate with that is we practice that behavior long enough, you end up with circumstances like the one I had to survive. Liver failure, man. You know, cirrhosis, your liver gets hard, man. Your liver is a filter of your body. It's how it gets rid of all the poisons, and alcohol is a poison. So if it's spending all of its time getting the poison out, and it's staying in there longer as you get older, then it's spending no time breaking down those calories or the toxins or the processed foods or the GMOs and all the other things that are in your body. So overall, if there's any amount of alcohol in our brain or body, we are not healthy. Period. We cannot be a healthy person. Even if we practice healthy behaviors, we may be doing less damage, but doing less damage isn't healing more. It's just not hurting ourselves for an extended period of time. This is where the things get really interesting about sobriety. This is why I continue to show up. People think that sobriety takes years to reach. People think that the longer into sobriety you go, the more sober you are. That is so astronomically untrue. You could be sober for the rest of your life and still want to drink. You could be sober, never have a drink for the rest of your life and still hate yourself. I know plenty of sober millionaires, people with stupid amounts of money, massive houses, man. They've got the cars, they've got the family, they got all this stuff, completely sober, wishing that they could drink. You know why? Because sobriety is painful. That is the trade-off. Is sobriety all that we want? Sober means nothing. It means even less if you're not doing anything with it. Now that you're not punishing yourself, hurting yourself, stressing yourself out with a literal cancer-causing agent that's destroying your immune system, but helping you care less about what's happening, dude, if that, you gotta, like, sober doesn't guarantee happiness, but happiness, 100%, almost all the time, guarantees sobriety. But sober isn't good enough. This is why we talk about beyond sober. Like, how do we get not just sober, but far beyond it? How do I get, I don't just want sober. Is sober all you want? I receive messages every single day. Here's an example. Hey man, I need to stop drinking. I have to stop drinking. Okay, so just put the drink down, wait 4 days and you'll be sober. Yeah, no, but yeah, no. Sober takes 4 days. That's on average how long it takes for alcohol to process out of your body. So what is actually stopping you from putting the drink down? Some people have actual physical dependencies. Some people have deep-rooted patterns. Some people's autonomic systems are so aggressive, it feels impossible not to drink. Some people have an emotional entanglement. They use alcohol as a processing mechanism to manage their emotions. Other people have a full-blown addiction. But every single one of those people want the same thing. They want peace. So this gentleman reaches out and says like, and I'm going like, okay, so what is better? What is greater than being faded? What is more powerful, more engaging? What has more potential than just being drunk? And he says, not being a piece of shit for my kids. That's not good enough, bro. That's not good enough. If your kids were a good enough reason for you not to be a piece of shit, you wouldn't be a piece of shit in your own world. You wouldn't look at yourself like that. You would just look at your kids and go, I'm actively taking care of myself. I'm doing what's necessary. This is why most of the people that struggle for so long are looking for reasons greater than themselves. And because they're looking for something external, like the family, like the business that they built, like the successes that they've acquired, none of that stuff is good enough. But here's the trip. This is what I said to him. And he says, damn, that sounds kind of cryptic. Bro, not being a piece of shit isn't being a good father. But being a good father is definitely not being a piece of shit. When we start shifting these perspectives, which is what this tattoo says, we start to see things in a different way. We start to realize that just quitting or just stopping something is not the goal. It's not the point. Nothing changes. We don't grow into a different person. We don't evolve as a human. We just practice not hurting ourselves for a little bit of time and use that resonance of success to do it again tomorrow. That's phenomenal. But if you start developing a true entanglement to being a better father and everything that entails, getting clear with it, what does that mean? What did your father not do for you that you want to do for your kids? What does a good father look like? Does he look like you? What does a good parent do? Are you doing it? No. You need to get extremely clear with this, brother. You need to look at this and write down, what do good dads do? Good dads don't just not drink. I know plenty of great fathers that drink from time to time. Plenty of good humans that don't have an addiction or a dependency or practice alcoholic behavior. They casually consume alcohol. You can drink alcohol and be a good person, great person, be successful, because at that point as a healthy person that values being a good human, being a good father, being a good son or daughter or whatever, when you value those things more than the illusion that alcohol provides, it is easy to deprioritize literally guzzling gasoline. That's a no-brainer. But if we've been practicing guzzling the gasoline for so long, then it seems so psychotically far-fetched that just focusing on being a better person or just focusing on improving our quality of life, that seems so far away. How do I know this, man? I was addicted to having 2 bottles of vodka every single day, man. I used to shake outside grocery stores, waiting for them to open up, and I had to pretend like I didn't have a dependency and hand the money and the vodka over. Dude, they were laughing at me the whole time, dude. I was just another kid, another dude, another man that lost himself in the addiction. Yet the addiction was the only thing keeping him alive. That's what dependency is, man. So there's a lot of people that, once again, can consume a poison casually, which is also not recommended. There's no health benefits. But their priorities are so in line where having a glass of wine, having a beer or two, casually consuming some scotch, which is how it's designed to be consumed, doesn't impede on their entire existence. Nobody is born an alcoholic. You have to practice alcoholic behavior before your body starts to assume that that is the baseline response. So we look at ourselves and go, what am I ignoring? What can I improve? What in my life can I focus on that's gonna immerse my attention? Instead of getting bored and drinking, how about I use that boredom to learn something? Instead of having nothing to do and making a drink, how about I embrace the time that I have that I'd normally be doing nothing with, and go to the gym, go outside, climb a tree, practice playing, skip rocks, pretend to be a kid. Start learning to entertain myself so I'm not reliant on a poison to distract me with how boring I actually am. Dude, I'm boring. I suck at entertaining myself. Goodness gracious. Even if the circus was in town, I don't even know how to have fun unless there's a numbing agent that's removing my awareness to how weird I feel of her laughing for no reason. Happiness and health is the cure to all addictive behaviors. Oh, if you watched me this far, dude, like and subscribe, share, leave me a comment, man. I'd love to answer your questions. But more importantly, your engagement helps this channel grow, and your engagement can literally push this video out and similar videos to people that really, really need to hear this information. So your thumbs could change a life, and it's super important. With that said, I sincerely appreciate you. Thank you so much for sticking around, for watching this. As you can see, I just freestyle all of these things. I don't know what I'm gonna say. I just say a whole bunch of things and hope that it lands appropriately. So kind of wrapping these things up without going on for too long. Trust me, I got another video coming out. You're really gonna appreciate it. Dude, sobriety literally only takes 4 days. 4 days. If you put the drink down, wait 4 days. That's how long it takes for alcohol to process out of your body. It's what you do after that determines whether or not you're just gonna be sober. The same person, just not drinking, or you're gonna look at day 4 as the gift that you know you deserve and use that space and that time and that energy to do things that actually improve your quality of life. Remember, alcohol is a Band-Aid. It is a symptom. If you felt better, you would just do better. So if we put the drink down for a little bit, or at least practice drinking less, and then use our time away from the self-harm or the abuse to get stronger, to feel stronger, to do more, to be more, we are actively, progressively going to evolve into someone that could, first off, handle the stress that would normally make us want to drink. Second off, start engaging in things that challenge us so we can prove on a daily basis that we got this. That once an alcoholic, always an alcoholic is a lie. It's not true. That you're broken, forever broken. That's also not true. You're not broken, you're healing, okay? It is so imperative that we start prioritizing our health and our happiness. The greatest thing that we could ever possibly focus on is improving our brain, improving our body. And it starts with drinking just a little bit more water, obviously consuming a little bit less alcohol, and being a little bit nicer to ourselves, right? With all of that said, you're amazing. I can't thank you enough. I sincerely appreciate you. Thank you for your support. Thank you for following me. Thank you for liking this and subscribing and sharing and commenting. Literally, I continue to show up because you continue to be exactly who you are. Please let me know if there's a specific question or a specific topic that I can cover. Thank you for watching this far. I just kind of freestyled everything. I'll do my best to dial things in and stay on topic a little bit in the future. You're the best. I appreciate you. Thank you, and I'll see you soon.